Hello and welcome to another episode of You Cannot Delegate Communication with myself, Melanie Wood. Welcome here. And if this is your first time to this channel, to these videos, then welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. So today's topic is how to become a great podcast guest. Now, these are questions that people have been asking me. And I absolutely love this question, and podcasts are something that I absolutely love, and I really encourage and suggest that for others because it's a really good way to share your message, share your story, share your value in the topics, and being able to really share what lights you up as well. And how you help people, that's like another really good way of being able to share with people. So I want you to really think about what it is that you can be able to share. Like if you could talk on one subject for hours, what would it be? And how that would light you up to share that. So using podcasts to whether you're in business, to whether you're in the workplace and you really want to be able to share your message, share what you do or share your own experiences and things that you've learned along the way are all really ideal things and topics to be able to share on a podcast. And by doing that is that you really get to be able to reach more people. You then get to be able to become that expert in your field, to become that authority that you know your subject matter and being able to share it. It's another really good way of, by being a guest, is that the person who runs the podcast and is the host, they're setting everything up. You are able to turn up and be that guest. But I do have 3 things that I want to share about becoming a better guest, because as someone who's experienced doing numerous podcasts, being a guest is something that I absolutely love to do. And because again, speaking is the fastest and quickest way to share your message and reach an audience. So as part of what I do and what I teach is that it's about practicing what I preach to others. So I am continuously building that momentum and being on podcasts. So I'm continuously on 1 to 2 podcasts a week, sharing my message. So, and I know that I work with people, with my clients on this, my communication community on this. And again, because people have asked this question, I want to share more so that it reaches more people through this video on how you can become a better and a great podcast guest. So let me know in the comments if you would love to know how to become a great podcast guest. Now, this is for people who have never really done podcasts, or if you have, but you want to be able to become a great podcast guest, you want to take your message and story to the next level, and you maybe want to start reaching podcast hosts who have a greater reach, greater amount of audience maybe to you. Then there's ways in which to be able to do that as well. It's part of everything that I teach around speaking communication. There's always the next level to go to. So this is for beginners to people who are already in the podcast space, but you want to be able to now become that great podcast guest as well. So I have 3 things that I want to share with you. So stick around for all 3. Because again, they're part of the process that I teach when it comes to speaking and communication. Let me know as well if you love watching or listening to podcasts. Let me know in the comments, like, what's your preferred way? Are you more wanting to hear people speak, like on audio, maybe like on Spotify and things like that, or Apple? Or do you prefer watching the video of the interview? So podcasts are around being interviewed. Let me know. I love watching, even if I'm doing stuff and I can hear it. I love to be able to know that I can see them, and I feel like I'm more connected when I am able to visually see them. But I know for other people, you'd love to be able to just listen to them and not necessarily see the video. But it'd be great to know below as well, because some podcasts that I've been on have been both. Some of them have been videoed, but they're only audio. So I'd love to know in the comments what you love to listen to, watch, or what you love to do if you were a guest as well. Some really good ways to figure that out. And I know for some people, if you're just doing audio, it means that you don't have to dress up. You can go on, but it might be video, but it's only going to be the audio content. Then that's another really good way. But my suggestion out of the three things is still show up who you are, show up what you represent, whether it's audio or not, still show up as your best self as well. So let's get into the top 3 things that I want to be able to share with you to help you become a great podcast guest. So number 1 is about finding out more about your host. So yes, putting your hand up to doing an interview or applying to be on and being on a podcast or interview as a guest, you still want to do some homework, all right? Because it's then more about being of service, because you find out about the host, you find out what they're about, you find out about their audience and how you can add value to them. So do some research, go and listen to a few of their already podcasts that they have available as well. Listen, get a sense and a feel of how they do the interview. Have a listen to what the other people are sharing. And this is not about comparing yourself either, but it's really good to hear the questions, hear the responses, and to be able to work out, well, how would you respond in that situation? You can also find out from that is, who is their audience and how does your topic fit in there? Go on and like, follow, and share their social media platforms. Those are ways, number 1, to become a better guest. Reach out to the person, to the host, and ask if there's anything that you can do to help them. Prior, post, pre-interview, during, and post as well. So really be of service. So that's number 1. Let's go into number 2. So number 2 is about planning and preparing to your upcoming interview. So you've done your homework, you've done your research, you've listened to a few of the podcast interviews, and now it's about, okay, you've already given your subject or your topic, you've done your research and your homework. It's now time to plan and prepare for when you're actually doing the interview. So planning and preparing is around asking the host, do they have a set of questions? Or do you need to provide questions to the host? Or is it going to be more free-for-all and freestyle, more like? So those are 3 ways in which they tend to be. Now, what I would definitely recommend is that it's really good to be on a podcast, to be interviewed and having it more freestyle. I know that that's not the case for everybody, and clients that I work with, I do encourage in the beginning to either give some questions or ask the host if they have like a couple of generic questions to help you plan and prepare. But it's really about working up to be able to do more freestyle conversational, because you know your topic and your subject. So any questions that they ask you, you will be able to know. So that's for if you are more of a beginner going into it and you're maybe not as comfortable or as confident with going in and not knowing the questions. So that helps with the planning and preparing part. If you have been doing podcasts and you're very used to showing up and being able to do more conversational, happy that you know your topic and your subject, and happy with whatever questions they throw out to you, but you're maybe feeling like you could respond better or structure it better or be able to direct the audience to something that you're doing. So planning and preparing is, again, you want to know who the audience is and your own audience, because you will share this with your own audience as well. Then to find out more about what parts of your topic and your subject is going to best fit that audience to what the host is looking for. And then be able to go through their podcast interviews they've done, start to figure out, are they asking the same types of questions? Are they going off what your response is, to then finding out more about that particular part that you've responded? So then start to note down your own types of responses to your own subject matter and your topic. So those are things to be able to help you to improve or to be able to get started and become that great podcast guest. And it is in the planning and it is in the preparing and having some things to go off with. Even if you put down notes and you have them there with certain things that you want to share and certain things that people might ask, then have them all noted down, ready to go for your podcast interview. That's number 2. Let's go on to our final top tip to become a great podcast guest. So number 3 is then around practice. So again, if you're in the beginning stage, but even if you're already been doing them for quite some time and you want to up level, practice. So find maybe like a coworker, find someone maybe in a group that you're already in, or find a friend, those sorts of things, and start to practice. By doing the research and the homework, you'll start to find out more about their questions. You get someone to practice with you and do that a few runs to be able to feel, and do it over Zoom. Do it like in how that would look like and feel like when you're in the moment. So reaching out to someone and asking, hey, I want to do a bit of a conversation. Can I give you some questions? Or can you be able to freestyle and just see how I go from there? So we all know communication and speaking is about knowing your research and homework, being able to plan and prepare, and practice is so important as well. If you have been doing them a while, go back to podcast interviews that you have done and reflect and review for yourself how you have been before and what you would like to improve on moving forward, and how you're going to start taking that into your next podcast interviews that you're about to do. The other one in number 3 is to be of service. Keep in contact with the host leading up to it, reaching out and asking, is there anything else that you need? Is there anything else that I can do to help? The pre and then during, and then asking, how would you like me to help you afterwards? Now, a lot of the time you're not obliged to share your podcast and promote it. However, I would say is that they have given up their time as well to do all of the work to have you on and also be able to position you out into their audience. So be of service. Ask them some dates around when this will be promoted, published, where, and go on and like, follow, share, subscribe to all of those things. Put a date in your diary of when it's going to come out, and then schedule that into your emails, to your social media posts, and be able to tag those people as well. But I really want you to think about being of service, being a podcast guest, and showing up as your best self. So let me know how you're going. If you are about to have an upcoming podcast or do an interview, then share it in the comments so that I can definitely like and follow and share and be a part of that as well. And again, if you want to reach out to me because you want some more help around how to find podcasts, how to find interviews, how to even be an even better and greater podcast guest, then please do reach out to me and we can jump on a call. I'll leave a link below and we can chat a little bit more, because podcasts and speaking are the greatest way to reach more people, to get your message, your story, and your value out there. And it really is my mission to help people and to help you share that with people and help more people to make an impact, create a ripple effect in the world, and really share your voice and message. So until next time, have an amazing rest of your day, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world watching this. And remember, you cannot delegate communication. Bye for now.